2018. Hard to believe we're halfway through March. So I wanted to get us started today with a quick shout out to Oriole, who's one of our contributors over to the Web Extensions APIs project. Shane, otherwise known as Mixed Puppy, wanted to give Oriole a shout out a couple weeks ago for Oriole's participation in the design decision needed triage by proposing bugs, and then once bugs are approved, going ahead and submitting the actual API. So he's got a couple of APIs landed, I think, at this point, either full APIs or like improvements to APIs. So he's been rocking the Web Extensions APIs pretty hard, and we're super excited to have him on the team. So thanks, Oriole. Yeah, so feel free to add anything to the agenda. I thought we could take a couple minutes today to just talk about something that we've got starting tomorrow that I think is going to be pretty cool. And then I think we can maybe talk about some other, and we can talk about some other things that are going on in the add-ons community. I've been pretty bogged down in this. So a couple months ago, Jorge was like, hey, we used to do contests. We should do that again. So we're doing one. It's called the Firefox Quantum Extensions Challenge. Submissions are going to be open tomorrow through April 15th. So our goal is that developers can develop on using Firefox Developer Edition. So that'll be Firefox 60. So Mike, I think we're going to tap to talk a little bit about some of the cool stuff that's happening in Firefox 60. But we wanted to give developers kind of the full breadth of opportunities that we have available right now to make some really cool extensions. So we're looking for submissions in 3 categories: tab management and organization, games and entertainment, and dynamic themes. And then because a lot of tabs APIs weren't quite in place by 57, we decided that it might be kind of a nice incentive to just say that anybody who ported their extension either from Chrome or updated from legacy to Web Extensions as of January 1st, 2018 would be eligible to entry. So you can either build something brand new, or if you are one of those people who needs to port something or update something, we have an opportunity for you to submit and be part of the challenge here. So developers are allowed to submit up to 3 extensions to this challenge, and developers can also submit as part of a team. So the only thing is that teams have to elect a leader, and only one prize goes to the entire team. It's not like each individual team member gets a prize. But we're going to be giving away some iPad Pros to the category winners and some Amazon gift cards to our runners up. And we're actually going to throw in some swag for everybody else who's named as a finalist. So we've got a really great judging panel who's going to evaluate the submissions to determine which ones make it to the finalist round, and then we'll open it up to community voting to select the winner out of each of the finalists in each category. And just because I saw some interesting responses come in a few days ago, this is a competition to submit an add-on that you've built, not necessarily to nominate somebody else who has built something cool. So if you want to give some love to a developer who has built something cool that you love, should definitely email the add-ons or the featured add-ons advisory board with that nomination, and they can go through the advisory process. So this is going to go live tomorrow. We've got a couple of blog posts that are going to be coming out tomorrow, and a couple of emails that are going to be going around. So keep your eyes open for those, and let me know if there's any feedback in the community from unhappy folks, because we definitely want to do our developers right. And if there's, I'm just curious to see what the feedback is going to be. Yeah. So any questions about the contest?
And as always, as people have questions, they can go to IRC as well, right, Caitlin?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be hanging around in IRC. Sylvan, is this gonna be a good enough incentive to port some of your Chrome tab extensions?
I would love to. Probably we'll do this year, but most likely not before this challenge is over. Yeah.
Okay.
I got a question though. Do you guys, the judges, will they put more weight on an extension that uses the latest APIs that are available in 60 compared to a similar add-on that just use, let's say, old APIs?
Yeah, that's a good question. We talked about that. I think the feeling is that we want to incentivize the extensions that use the latest APIs. I think we just have to figure out how to make that work on the back end. I guess that's a to-do list that I should take. I should talk to Mike and Jorge about. The good news is that the majority of our panelists like have extension development experience. So I think if we were gonna kind of like identify which, like, they might be able to do a little bit more digging around. So we might not need to be as reliant on Jorge and Mike for API identification. Yeah. Yeah. And so we're missing, so tab hiding, I think somebody asked me about tab hiding, if that was going to be an option for this. I don't think it is, but I wanted to ask.
So tab hiding is in the developer edition. It is behind a preference and disabled by default because we're still working out some of the UI, and a lot of the UX won't be there until 61. So we can't turn it on as a full-fledged feature until the UI and the UX catches up. But if somebody were to develop an extension, it would work as long as somebody flipped that preference, and we would certainly give it consideration. Just most people in the release channel wouldn't be able to install it either until 61 or by having the add-on instructions tell somebody to flip a pref. So it's a little awkward for the 60 timeframe, but we just couldn't get the UI and the UX there in time. But all the underlying APIs and the backend stuff should be there in 60. And so somebody could do a tab hiding add-on. It just wouldn't be completely functional from a release standpoint until 61. But we'd still consider it.
Okay. Cool. That would be fun. And then, so I know tab hiding is an experimental feature that might go away if we see it's abused. Mike, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, don't read a lot into the experimental. It's experimental because it's hard to get right, and it is an opportunity for malicious add-ons or bad actors to kind of take advantage of hidden tabs to do coin mining in the background or ad clicking, things like that. So we are putting a lot of protection in place. We're redoing a complete UX experience around it so that you can see all the tabs that are hidden. You can identify tabs that are hidden that might be making sounds. When a hidden tab is asking for passwords and login prompts, it'll be brought to the forward. So there's a lot of edge cases we're really trying to polish to make sure that we can land tab hiding as a full-fledged feature in Firefox. But because it is a little bit risky, there are a lot of edge cases, and we're probably not smart enough to have thought of everything on the first time around. It is labeled experimental. And yeah, we put that caveat out there that it could change or even go away if we just see we can't do it in a safe and privacy protecting manner. That's really not the expectation, though. My expectation is we'll probably miss a couple things, but we'll correct them, we'll get it right, and we'll be able to offer this as a real feature. So that's kind of how tab hiding is labeled experimental right now.
Okay, cool. All right, that sounds good. Sounds really good. Okay, yeah, so I thought we could have a moment to check in about reviewer updates, and we could welcome Andreas back from PTO. Andreas has spent the last week, I think, hiking and not worrying about add-on security. So
thank you.
Well, so welcome back, Andreas. Hope you've had a nice day easing back into things. So yeah, we announced the new add-on policies are coming and will go into effect April 1st. So that blog post looked like it went over pretty well. We've seen some like pretty okay discussions on discourse. Andreas, is the link in this agenda then the draft of the new policies?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, very cool. And those are going to be published on MDN?
Yeah, they will just take over the current policies page. Once
Okay.
they reach their final stage, we'll just move the content over to the official page.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, awesome. So that's exciting. Sylvan had asked a question about jQuery 2.x. So, Sylvan, you want to share a little bit about what's going on?
It's settled. Some reviewers were starting to reject versions of add-ons because of usage of jQuery 2. This shouldn't be done until October this year. So Andreas will reach out directly to those reviewers.
Okay. Okay, that
Yep.
sounds good.
Just a minor clarification, we will start rejecting those in September, but that's still some way to go.
Okay. Okay. Okay, cool. Sorry, I just had a random question before we talk about canned responses. How is spam doing on AMO? Are we getting a lot, like, is it normal?
We're getting less.
Okay. Cool. Neat. Okay. So then canned responses. So we were having a little conversation on IRC. So Andreas, do you want to catch us up really quickly? So we're collecting our canned responses to just see what's out there in the field and then like figure out like what's no longer needed. Is that what we're doing?
Exactly. Also trying to optimize a few of them where we've seen them in the wild where they are not quite optimal yet. And on the other hand, we'd like to get the input from reviewers and see the things or the great canned responses they've already come up with. We would like to integrate them into AMO and add it to the official canned response list so everyone can make use of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that makes a ton of sense. Like, no need to reinvent the wheel for sure, especially if people have things that are already working really great. So yeah, so we've received some canned responses from Sylvan and from Lucian. Have we received any from anybody else? Okay.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Okay. Cool. So we have almost all of our legacy reviewers migrated over to reviewing and post-review. We're missing 2 right now. So I have it on my to-do list to follow up with them. So let me just like highlight this in bold to actually follow up with them and see what's going on. And then now that Andreas is back, I think we're going to be able to take a closer look at documentation updates for onboarding new reviewers, which, yay!
Yay!
It will be a good day. It will feel nice. Yeah. Yeah, so that was pretty much all that I had that I wanted to talk about this week, but I'm wondering if anybody else has anything that they'd like to share, either about AMO or reviews or web extensions.
I do regarding legacy reviews. That's for Jorge, I think. Do you have any updates about the AMO split for Thunderbird and migration of some reviewers that wants to go there?
So last I talked with Sankas, which was last week, I think. He was almost done setting up the Thunderbird site. So it should be fairly close to be done. We are still aiming to completely remove legacy add-ons from AMO once ESR 60 launches. So yeah, they should have everything set up in the next couple of months or so. As for inviting reviewers to move to the new site, that's going to be up to them, and I don't really know their timeline.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Oh shoot, we don't have Phil up here. I was gonna say I'm happy to coordinate with Ryan about Ryan, the Thunderbird community manager, about that. Yeah. I don't know. Sylvan, have you met Ryan?
I don't think so. I saw a couple of emails from Philip and Ryan because I'm on the seat for a console for Thunderbird, but besides that, no.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't talked to him too much, but I think we've had a couple of areas of overlap. And every now and then somebody like will post to discourse in add-ons and it'll be a Thunderbird question. So trying to, I heard a lot of really, this weekend I was like hanging out with some friends and I heard a lot of people come forward and say they were Thunderbird users. That was nice. So yay, Thunderbird. Okay, so that's coming. Did I hear Andreas or Mike say that they had anything to share?
Sorry, could you repeat it? You were cutting out for me.
Oh, sorry.
Might be my connection.
Yeah, I was just wondering. I just wanted to ask if you or Mike had anything to share.
No, nothing from me. I'm still catching up on email. So.
Okay.
I think for me, most people are aware that Firefox release 60 went into beta yesterday, so look for a new add-ons blog post probably mid next week that kind of details what all the new web extension API changes and additions are that go into the 60 beta and developer edition.
Awesome. And Jorge, how's AMO doing?
It's okay, Lessa checked.
If the site still works?
It still works. Let me check one more time.
Sometimes it doesn't work, and then we all panic.
It is up. It is working.
Yay! I think the worst was that when we had that outage, like right after 57 released, and people were like, "Now you won't let us have add-ons at all." we're like, we didn't mean to.
Maybe worth
Cool.
of note, next week a bunch of PMs are meeting, well, add-on PMs, but we're going to talk a lot about AMO planning and how we're going to try to streamline that process now that we have more people doing PM work and trying to get UX better coordinated with us. So probably a lot of stuff is going to come out of next week.
Awesome. And Jorge, I know you've shared the AMO plans for Q2. Would you mind dropping that link in here too, just so that people can, I know you've published them in many places, and I'm just gonna add one more to that.
Yeah, give me a sec. I think I need to change the permissions on that doc.
Oh, okay. Okay, awesome. Anyone else have any questions or comments or coffee or? I think we have like, what, 2 non-coffee drinkers at least on this call? 3? Or you got yours? Okay.
Cheers,
oh yeah,
Sylvia.
yeah, nice, very nice. All right, well, I'll let you guys go. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you around. Enjoy.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye.